Welcome back to One-on-One Sports. I'm Andrew Springs. Joining me to break down the Winter Olympics are Eric Kendall and Steve Roth. Guys, there is let me stress, very little compensation for Olympic athletes. Should they get paid to compete?
They do get endorsement money, but I really think that they should get paid to medal. Eric Kendall, are you familiar with a man named LeBron James?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Famous basketball player. And Alex Rodriguez, I'm sure you heard of him too.
Yeah, through
These
a couple
are
people.
athletes in the United States that are the best in their respective sports, and they get paid millions and millions and millions. Now, why should Shaun White, Apollo, Anton Ono, guys like that, Michael Phelps, why should they not get paid to be the best in the world?
Okay, Steve, I'll stop you right there because
for one event every 4 years.
The reason LeBron James get paid millions of dollars is because people are willing to pay millions of dollars to see him play. He's in a market where people will do that. You talk about Apollo, Ono, Shaun White does get paid a lot by his sponsors, and I guess we're not talking about sponsors, we're talking about straight from the people. That's not going to happen with Apollo Antonio. I'll pay every 4 years to see him play, but
well, that's what I'm saying.
LeBron James every night.
Why can't we raise the ticket prices for every single person, for the opening ceremonies, the closing ceremonies, the whatever it is, whatever event, raise it by a little bit
I don't know,
pay the athletes.
I don't know who you think are going to these opening ceremonies, but the average cost is $500 to see this happen.
I understand that. Why not raise it by $50 a person, $100 a person?
Because are you living in this economy? I mean, welcome to the league, Rook.
Good debate, gentlemen. Okay, what needs to be changed about the next Winter Olympics? What would you like to see done differently? Eric, we'll start with you.
Well, some of the stuff that NBC did during prime time, I wasn't particularly happy with.
Gander Mountain?
A lot of it, yeah, some of that. But to me, NBC was trying to be Lifetime 2. It was all women's broadcasting, which is fine sometimes, but it's all it was. Ice dancing every night, figure skating, the Paris figure skating. I mean, it's good to see every night because it is an event in the Olympics, but it's something that they based their whole marketing off of. Every primetime event was figure skating. Give me something else. I mean, man up a little.
Now, I'm not sure if it's because I'm a huge hockey fan, but I noticed that NBC would not play too many of the hockey games. They would often be on MSNBC, and you know they'd show curling, which that's another debate. But for NBC, they'd show curling over hockey, and I thought that was a stupid idea. The other thing is, if you're going to have opening ceremonies, millions of dollars, I know this doesn't have a lot to do with Winter Games in general, but this one you need to make sure the fourth leg of that cauldron comes up and works. You need to make sure there's no mechanical issue.
Yeah, well, things are going to mess up. You gotta be able to, deal with that. You got to deal with that, but I mean. Stop playing all this ice dancing. I'm not interested.
I agree with both of you. What was the most impressive feat of this Winter Olympics, and compare it to something in mainstream sports?
Well, to me, it was Joannie Rochette, the French-Canadian ice skater. I know I just got done talking about ice skating, but this was really heroic. Her mom died 5 days before her taking the ice for her first short program. An amazing feat to me to have someone that close to you die and still be able to do it. The thing that comes to mind first off is Brett Favre in that Monday Night Football game in Oakland. A couple days after, or it might have been the day his dad died.
Still played the day after his father died.
The day after, excuse me, and just had a phenomenal game. I think 4 touchdowns. It was kind of the same thing. Rochette went on to win the bronze. Very heroic.
A very big feat, but I also think that another one is an athlete I call a no-contest athlete, and that would be Shaun White. Real quick, a no-contest athlete is an athlete in my mind that not only people are hoping they medal, oh, I hope he gets a silver medal. Not only are they guaranteed to get a gold medal, they will break records, and that's what Shaun White did. The guy got up in his first run, and he already tied his old record from 2006. Most athletes in the men's halfpipe have a first run and a second run. Shaun White has a first run and a victory lap. The man also broke his record in the victory lap and introduced his new tomahawk, which is a double McTwist 1260. Wow. Yes, sir, I got the lingo down. Shaun White, a very impressive feat.
You know what's 7 goals on Russia from Canada? Also very impressive.
That sounds like something I would get at McDonald's. I have no idea what that is.
On the menu.
Both of you, give a story, because the Olympics only comes around every 4 years. Give a story of something that you gave up to watch the Olympics. A date, a school assignment, a class, dinner with your dog.
Okay, you hit it right there. I'm going to come clean right now. A date, and she's probably watching. I'm sorry, but my girlfriend and I, we didn't get to celebrate Valentine's Day, so we went 2 days early for the night of the opening ceremonies. I scheduled the date really early at 5 o'clock. I said, there was nothing else open. That was the only time slot. We got there. There was no one there. She's like, what are you doing? Is this for real? And we go home, watch the opening ceremony. I got to see who lights the torch.
What a gentleman, Eric Kendall. Well, mine would probably, I have to unfortunately give up, and it might be quite obvious, I had to give up some eating. I know it probably, you can probably see it if you're looking at me, but I had planned to go and go out to, Andrew, he doesn't agree with me, but I went out to eat recently, and I told somebody I will meet them at the Acorn at Elon, and unfortunately I did not realize that Apollo Anton Ono would be competing that day, so that person's probably out there still looking for me. So that's what I had to give up, is food.
I saw someone out there looking around the street.
That was my buddy Joe.
Oh.
I mean, I feel bad for you because obviously Mrs. Kendall is going to have to get the pull-out couch for you tonight. But nonetheless, I believe all three of us swept the medals and took the podium. We have to take a quick commercial break, but when we return, Mike will sit down with Rich Ryan and Adam Constantine to talk about the NBA. Stay tuned.